My name is Emma Freedman, and I'm a Davidson Young Scholar. I'm 15 years old, and I'm from Santa Cruz, California. I'm a conservationist and scientist. Today, I would like to share my work with you to save the orangutans. Over the past century, Borneo has lost over 60% of its forest cover, released gigatons of carbon into the atmosphere, and suffered the loss of tens of thousands of endangered orangutans. Since 1986, the Bornean orangutan has been classified on the IUCN Red List as endangered. The main threats to orangutans are poaching and habitat loss. The primary cause of this deforestation is the conversion of rainforest to palm oil plantations. This is a complex issue because the palm oil industry is central to the economies of Indonesia and Malaysia. But the global climate will experience the consequences of the carbon emissions from this deforestation. The orangutans are a keystone species, so it's crucial to protect them in order to maintain the health of the forest. So any conservation action that fails to protect the orangutans from extinction would fail to conserve the health and biodiversity of the forest. Conservationists and governments have been ineffective in stopping the environmental destruction in the past. But now, we are at a turning point. In 2013, Wilmar International, the world's largest trader of palm oil, announced their no deforestation, no peat, no exploitation policy, which aims to protect high carbon stock forest areas by putting restrictions on development. Other companies are following their lead. I wanted to determine what this meant for the orangutans and the Bornean rainforest. When I was 10 years old, I went to Borneo for the first time and witnessed the destruction of the rainforest firsthand. I fell in love with the orangutans and wanted to know how we could save them.
Could you tell me what you like about orangutans?
Everything. I learned that one of the most important things we can do is to speak out about the crisis. So I established my service project, Jungle Heroes, and became a Davidson Young Ambassador.
We need to spread the word. It's our job.
I've been doing both activism and scientific research regarding the issue ever since. Over the last 5 years, I've been back to Borneo 3 times, and I've been able to travel around the world to speak about the plight of the orangutans to over 7,000 students. I've always been interested in science since my first science fair at age 9. However, it wasn't until my mentor, Dr. David Burnick, suggested I combine my 2 passions, orangutan conservation and science, that I started this research. My work has evolved over the past few years. In 2012, I conducted fieldwork in Borneo, examining the health of the ecosystem, talking to local people, and observing wild orangutans. Then, I talked with a wildlife biologist, Dr. Tim Tinker, who suggested I do a population viability report on the orangutans because of my interest in their conservation. Later, I read Dr. Eric Major's paper, Not by Science Alone, Why Orangutan Conservationists Must Think Outside the Box. I learned that there may be hope for the species if levels of logging and poaching can be controlled. Both of these ideas led me to develop my first model in 2013. That year, I created a simulation in MATLAB to look at the effects of varying threats on theoretical orangutan populations. When Wilmar's policy was published, I became very interested in the concept of sustainable palm oil. Could this be the key to a sustainable future for both the palm oil industry and the orangutans? So I revised my project the second year to write a new and improved simulation in Python, find more data, and focus on the very applicable and current situation of Wilmar's plan. I launched a study that is the only one of its kind focused on this area and species. It predicted the effects of the Wilmar policy on the sustainability of orangutan populations, and mathematically modeled 36 orangutan habitats and their populations using data from multiple sources. These included the most recent orangutan population and habitat viability assessment and satellite imagery. The sustainability of 11 different scenarios were analyzed, and recommendations were developed from the results. I worked with my mentor, to refine my simulation and zero in on my findings in preparation for ISAF. The Wilmar policy is crucial to conserving the orangutans, but the policy must be improved to save them. Specifically, the plan should be enhanced to include conservation of lowland mosaic land to provide a further increase in population sustainability, and poaching must be reduced to less than 0.5%. Reducing poaching will be a challenge, but one that may be overcome through education and law enforcement. The only way to succeed with the necessary actions is to start at the heart of the problem: the people who depend on killing orangutans and cutting down the rainforest for a living. The people of Indonesia and Malaysia love and depend upon the rainforest, but many are unaware of the extent of the deforestation and how crucial the orangutans are to keeping the rainforest healthy. Education is key, and the people must be included in the process of establishing sustainability. However, this alone will not be sufficient. Although the people greatly value the forest, it cannot be put before their immediate livelihood. If a family must poach orangutans or cut down the forest to survive, they will. Therefore, alternative economic opportunities must be provided, such as small-scale farming, reforestation, or ecotourism. In order to have this plan succeed, scientists, activists, corporations, governments, and the international community must work together with the Indonesian and Malaysian people on a sustainable solution. To reduce poaching rates, people need alternatives, and government needs to enforce the existing anti-poaching laws. To reduce forest degradation, corporations need to limit expansion and take responsibility for environmental degradation they have caused. The Bornean rainforest that was once a vital carbon-storing gift is now a carbon bomb, and its time is ticking. Bornean peat forest alone could release 54.9 billion metric tons into the atmosphere. That is 5.5 times the world's annual emissions in 2013. It is urgent to protect the health of this critical carbon sink and epicenter of biodiversity. If this study's recommendations can be achieved, this work predicts an orangutan population increase of up to 2.3 times the size of the current estimated total population over the 1,000-year test period. The Wilmar commitment is a significant step in approaching a balance between industry and sustainability, and it has the potential to have a noticeable effect on the orangutan populations if it is improved. This study predicts that without any intervention, the orangutans will become extinct within my lifetime. This work adds to the limited existing body of research on orangutans. The results of this study can be shared with and used to influence not only Wilmar, but the entire palm oil industry. This study is important because it brings together all the major stakeholders in this issue. Instead of pitting the palm oil industry against the environment, this study outlines collaboration of all parties into one sustainable and mutually beneficial solution. This approach is required if we are to make positive change. Although my initial passion to save the orangutans led me into this project, it's not just about saving them anymore. We are running out of time as climate change and habitat destruction accelerate. The future of humans and all the other species, including the orangutans on this planet, is being determined by the people who are alive today. If we are to have any hope for the future, we have to use our resources and work together. I hope I can continue to contribute to solutions, and I thank you for this opportunity to share my work with you. My name is Emma Freedman, and I'm a Davidson Young Scholar. The truck and the bird.
I'm ignoring it.